Smartphone Insider, and today I have for you a big box good. Two items actually, an Nvidia Geforce GTX 1060 with 3GB RAM, and an Acer 23-inch LED high-definition monitor, all of which I am going to unbox and install in under 15 minutes. Let's get started. So here we have our Nvidia Geforce GTX, a big box good, and a 23-inch high-definition monitor by Acer, also a big box good. Our GeForce GTX is perfect for budget gamers out there, and for those of you looking to build out or upgrade your PC, the Acer 23-inch monitor is the perfect companion at only $99. Our GTX 1060 has 3GB of GDDR5 RAM, is capable of clock speeds of 1582 MHz with boost clock speed up to 1797 MHz, supports 4K Ultra HD resolution, so feel free to buy a 4K monitor if you so wish, and only uses 400 watts of power compared to 500 watts used on faster, more expensive cards, which makes this card ideal for plug-and-play situations. For comparison, my previous card, an Nvidia GTX 950, used 350 watts of power, so there was no need for me to upgrade or swap out my power supply. Also, because I am upgrading this PC and have a very small budget, I will not be swapping out or upgrading the motherboard or the CPU or even the amount of RAM. I am solely concerned with getting the most performance out of this machine as possible. At a height of 4.4 inches, a length of 6.8 inches, I was skeptical at first if this card would physically fit in my tower, which is small, but without any issues, I was able to get it onto the motherboard just fine. In black and red, what is really awesome about this graphics card is not the color but the way it lights up when you plug it in for the first time, making my machine sort of the ultimate sleeper tower gaming computer with its LED light just shining through the air holes on the left-hand side of the computer. More important though is this card comes with a 3-year warranty. Knowing that I can have this card and play the titles I love for at least 3 years is comforting, though there is no telling this computer will perform playing titles we don't even know exist yet. Now onto the monitor. This is a quick one because for $99 you aren't getting much, other than 2 HDMI ports, LED technology, and high definition. What is great, and not available on my older model monitor, is the fact that it comes with 2 HDMI ports on the back to plug into my graphics card. Previously, I was using the VGA port, so this is a very nice upgrade as an HDMI cable is much more streamlined and supports a higher data transfer when compared to VGA. There are some things I wish our graphics card had, however, such as 4GB of RAM instead of 3. Nonetheless, I have no other issues with this card, as during my initial impression testing it out, yielding great results. If you were wondering what games I like to play, well, besides PUBG, I enjoy playing Lockheed Martin's Prepare 3D, a flight simulator, which requires a card such as this one and nothing more to run just fine. PUBG, on the other hand, although not installed on this computer, has a minimum system requirement of a GTX 960, 2GB of RAM, and an Intel i5 processor. Our system, with an i5 processor, 8GB of RAM and 3GB of VRAM, and a GTX 1060, meets those minimum requirements and then some. Also, if you're interested in live streaming content, a computer such as this, roughly 3 years old now, is capable with this graphics card of live streaming through Nvidia GeForce Experience software. More on that later. As per our monitor, well, I wish it was 4K, but that's okay. We don't want to blow our budget. So now that I've talked about our goodies, let's move on to the setup and installation process for both the graphics card and the monitor. We'll save the monitor for last. It's the easiest. Step 1. Before installing our new graphics card, be sure to uninstall any drivers associated with our previous graphics card. In this case, we had to uninstall a total of 4 programs, all drivers, all under the name of Nvidia. It's super easy to do. And don't worry about messing up your computer. It doesn't need these drivers if we aren't using them. It has a built-in graphics card and will just simply take over. Step 2. Now that we have uninstalled our Nvidia drivers, let's go ahead and shut down the PC. The most important part of step 2 will be to unplug our tower from the wall. While installing our card, we do not want to accidentally start our computer and short circuit anything. Step 3. Unscrew the back plate of our computer and remove the old graphics card. Be sure to unscrew the flap on the back of the computer holding in the graphics card. This is a rookie mistake to make and will seem embarrassing once you've figured out that all you need to do to get the graphics card out is remove this back flap. Step 4. Now that the old graphics card is out of our machine, let's install the new one. Don't be afraid of breaking anything, just line the card with the PCIe slot and make sure it fits in tight. As long as those sensors on the bottom of the card are making contact, everything is fine. Just don't put it in half-ass. Once this is done, connect it to the power supply. One interesting thing to note was our graphics card is able to power on and run using only 6 prongs instead of the 10 prongs on our older graphics card. I don't know why, it just works. Step 5. Now that our graphics card is in, close the back of the case, and before you do this, be sure to clean up some of the wires in the back. Step 6. Because this is the easiest, I'll fit it in now. Plug in the computer monitor to the wall. Plug the monitor to the back of the computer via the HDMI cable. Complete. Step 6. Turn on the computer and install the new drivers. This is the easiest but also the most confusing part. Once the computer is on, you'll want to head over to the GeForce Experience app on our desktop. Once it's open, you'll want to go to the top of the application and click on Drivers. Now that you've clicked on Drivers, oddly enough, the driver for our card will be the first one available. Somehow, the Nvidia app is able to detect our graphics card and provide the correct driver upon startup. Click Download. Now that everything is done, we can fire up our favorite title. Fortnite, PUBG, Prepare 3D are just a few of the types of games we can play and stream with our new graphics card and monitor. So I took you through the unboxing, the installation and setup, and I did it in under 15 minutes. My name is John. The Nvidia GTX 1060 and Acer monitor are big box goods. You're watching Smartphone Insider.